So we'll go through the Gemara again. My sakana, what is this that everyone's so worried about? Ilema d'amri basula nisas limravi tehereg, that the goyim are just going to kill anyone who gets married on Wednesdays. This gives us a heter to move the wedding to a different day. No, why is it just that they have a minhag not to get married on Wednesdays? They're going to die if they do. Legamri ne'akeri, we should completely rip it up. Now, this idea of completely ripping it up, this is where the Hagos Ashri comes in at this point in the Gemara. What does it mean? What's this idea that we're going to just completely rip up the Gezerah? So it's not the Sakana. Rabbah says that the Basula on the Yom Revi'i will have to have relations with the Goy. We'll have to have the first. So as a Basula, then she'll be taken forcefully. So why is that called a zakana? It's an oinus, so it's an oinus. Why are you calling it an oinus? It is a state of... Why you call it a zakana? It's just a state of oinus. So because there are tsunuyas that they try to kill themselves. Again, we saw there was a maklokas. That's what that means. So the Ritva says that this word tsunuyas, the fact that it says tsunuyas in here, the tsunuyas is saying that it's the women themselves. It's not that the tsunuyas themselves want to stay. It's like Rashi, that they want to stay nice for their husbands, as opposed to everybody who will just get killed. That it's just a stam yarek val yavor, like any other mitzvah. They don't want to do the gilirayas. That the tsunuyim. So it says lashon tsunuyas. It's like it's the married woman doesn't want to be usher to her husband. So that they're going to now. You see, again, you have this breakup in the lashon here. I spoke this out before, but that they give themselves over to being killed, and then they come to sakana. So again, there's a strange lashon in the Gemara there. You say the snus that they're muster nafshayu done. So then let's tell them the onis ashari. So let's go tell them the onis ashari, and this is just a crazy idea that you're going to put yourself into a situation that is Aser, and then you'll be in Bekuk Nefesh, and then you can do whatever you want. So let's give them the drush. Let's just tell them that since Onis Yashari, you can get yourself into the situation of Bekuk Nefesh. Is Bekuk Nefesh with this guy? So therefore, again, we're talking about these, the tznius, the Master Nafshaihu. We will tell them that Onis is Mutter. So therefore they'll be in a state of Bekuk Nefesh, and we'll say, no, it's okay, you can be Onis there, because if you're not Onis, then you will be Bekuk Nefesh, so don't worry about it. And we said that you're not allowed to go away on a ship 3 days before Shabbos, because the Balamor says that you'll get into a state of Bekuk Nefesh on the ship. So therefore just don't leave. But why don't we just say, go on the ship, and then you'll be an oines. Lidrush lahu, the oines ashari. That Bekuk Nefesh on sea, it's mutter. The whole point of the Balamor and the way he's explaining the Gemara, he's saying that don't go on the ship, so you don't come to oines, so you don't come to Bekuk Nefesh, so you don't be doicha the Shabbos. So why here are we saying, oh, it's okay that you can get married, because we're saying here to just keep on getting married on Wednesday and just tell them that Onis is because we could just uproot the date and let them get married on a Tuesday. We're saying, no, let them get married on Wednesday and tell them that Onis is mutter, so you get yourself into this situation. So we said we already had a teretz for this. So does anyone know what the teretz is? Yeah, so the Gemara is going to say that, but this is before the Gemara. Ike Prutzis is the next part of the Gemara, but I'm saying the question that I'm asking is something to do with the Gemara. I'm asking on the Gemara, how can the Gemara say, how just get yourself into a state of oines, and then you got to get yourself into Bekuk Nefesh, so then you can be doicha everything. Just don't get into. We saw it brought down in the halacha that you're not supposed to put yourself into this situation. So again, we saw this with the Meshech Chochmah, that an oines rachmana patre means that you never did the act. So since you never did the act, so therefore you're not putting yourself into that situation to do the act. You never did the act. Why is that different by Shabbos? Because Shabbos is an assay and a lot assay, so therefore you can't get the assay. So we said in the Meshech Chochmah that you did lot assay, even though you were over, since you did it by oines, you didn't do it. But you can never get the assay. So therefore by Shabbos, you have the assay of Shabbos, you are doiche with your Bekuk Nefesh. So therefore by Shabbos you can't do it. But here you're able to do it because when you're forced into being over lot assay, therefore you don't, it's called you didn't do it. So lidrush lahu. So let's go tell them the oinus ishari. So toisvis. Right? So we see over there in Sanhedrin that I'll call averus yavor v'al yareg. So for all the averas, so you should do all the averas and don't die, except for avodas chacham gilirais v'shvichas damim. So we have here that gilirais yarog v'al yavar, that you should die and not do the avera. So here, why are we telling the oinus ishari? Why don't we tell them that yarog v'al yavar? So therefore, don't do it and just die. The Tiritz Rabbeinu Tam dein chayev es mita al bila mitzri. So again, mitzri here is a goy. If the editors put mitzri in, whatever that means, wherever the editors are, mitzri is najishim, and any goy will also do. So that you're not chayev misa for the bias mitzri. Now, what does it mean? Chayev misa is you don't have to give your life up for it. The Rachmana Afrika lezera, because the Torah made their zera hefker. Dimitri dichte v'zaram susim. So therefore, by a goy it says that their zaram, like their zera, is like of a horse. So it's like a behema. So therefore, when a goy is having relations with the woman, so then she's not machayev to yarg v'al yavar. Any other case, so that the gili arayis of yarg v'al yavar is only with a Jew. But with a goy, Rabbeinu Tam says that it is like with a dog or like with a horse. So it comes out for this simple. So people will learn in the Rabbeinu Tam that if a woman has relations with a goy, so then because one of the kashas is what about being usher to a kohen? She becomes a zoina. How did she become a zoina? Well, some say in the name of Rabbeinu Tam be mutter. But we'll have to see more about Shittis Rabbeinu Tam. ומאי רaya Rabbeinu Tam to parach ben Soramar. In the same place we have a raya. ומאי, and it teaches there ha Esther beferhasia have. So over by, we had the question by Esther. Where did she get her heter to have relations with Achashverosh? And then we said that betzina beferhesi is osir, betzina is mutter have velo perach v'ha Esther kilirayas have. So by Esther, she should have been moiser nefesh. Why should she have been moiser nefesh? Because she was in public. Everybody knew that she was having relations with Achashverosh. But according to Toisus, he's saying that the Gemara should have asked Esther's Gilirayas have, and therefore that's why she should have been moister nefesh. She should have given herself over to die because it was Gilirayas, but not because of Befarhesia. So therefore, the fact that the Gemara had to come on to Farhesia as opposed to just Gilirayas is because Rabbeinu Tam says is because the Chashirish was a goy, and since the Chashirish was a goy, she had no chiyuv to moisture her nefesh for the goy, because the bias of a goy is like the bias of a behema. Mashma de mishamerayis lo have mechayev umitocha kach, and because of this heter Rabbeinu Tam lebas Yisrael shehamira. So what's the story here? That a Jew had become a goy, that she started chasing after the church. Uba aleya oivek lechavim, and some nice goy had picked her up. Lekaima leoisa oivek lechavim, kushenisgayer. So now this goy, he, from being a church follower, he becomes a Jew. And now that the guy has converted, he should be usher to her, because that there's this din of echad leboel and echad leboel, that somebody who is, if she has relations outside of marriage, whether it is the husband or whether it is the person that she had relations with, both are usher to get married. So if a woman has an affair and she is chayv misa, so even if the Beisin don't kill her, and she has to get divorced from her husband, but she can't go to her person she had the affair with, because Ben the boil and Ben the baal, she's also too. So also by a goy, when they're having relations outside of him being Jewish, then he should be also to her afterwards because you had the bias outside of marriage. So, but there it doesn't apply, and therefore Rabbeinu Tam says that she's able to marry this guy after he converts, because the bias mitzri, the havik bias behema. And therefore, this is the end of Shitas Rabbeinu Tam. We're saying that the goy is like a behema, and therefore we have how it comes out halacha lemaisa. Well, we have to see. We have to see what the Rabbeinu. Because we're going to ask kashas now on Rabbeinu Tam. But the pashas of Rabbeinu Tam is that a goy, that the goy's bia with a woman, a Jewish woman, is the same as a woman having bia with a dog, with bestiality. That is Rabbeinu Tam shita so far. The a near the ribam, and that's basically how the ribam is going to understand shitas Rabbeinu Tam. Because the Rebam says that through the bias of an oivik, through a goy, she's also to her baal. Kadamar haka, we see here. This is our whole case here. How do we see here that they're also to the baal, to ikapritzas? What is the din of the ikapritzas? Ikapritzas, Rashi says, so if the woman is barotzon, so again the din is that if you're not a Kohen, is that if the woman has relations, but oines, she's mutter to her husband, and if it's barotzon, she's also to her husband. So therefore, if it's barotzon, then she's also on the baal. So seemingly by Shitas Rabbeinu Tam, this would only be if she has relations with a Jew, but not with a goy. But this Gemara is clearly saying, because who is this hegemon? Who is this Greek guy who's coming over to this woman? He's obviously a goy. And therefore here the whole point is that if it's barotzon, then nurses al balay, and that's the pshat of prutzas. And therefore, says the Ribam, our Gemara is clearly saying that you're also to your husband, even if it's with a goy, if it's barotzon. So therefore, the bias mitzri is going to usher the woman to her husband. But if you have relations with the dog, it would be bestiality, so it doesn't. So that's already kash and Rabbeinu Tam. Oh, but perachesha nitama, like this is given later on. Gave ha'isha shenichba beina oivit chachavim, that she is hiding, or that she's captured by the goyim. And they say the barotzon asher labaila, that if she had relations barotzon by her captives, so then she's also to her husband. But Amar Nam, so that's another case. So she's captured by goyim, and we have this question as to whether she's barotzon or not in this case, if she has relations while she's in captivity. Amar Nami, but Megillah, so Megillah. Kashar avadati. What's the posuk of Kashar avadati? That Esther is saying that she is going to be usher to Mordechai after she has relations with Achashverosh. Kashar avadati mi beizaba, avadati mimcha. Alma lagabe bala lo chashiva bilis mitzri. So therefore, the Isser could be his behema. So therefore, when you're with the bia with a goy, is will usher on the husband, and therefore it's not like a bias behema. So v'hu adin a boyel afagad ein znus le behema. So therefore, even though there's no znus, you can still. So now Tosis is saying that you're going to be usher also on the person, on this goy, the goy who has had relations outside. Even though there's no znus with a behema, and there's no bias behema poselis, but oiseris, as we see in Perachaba al Yivam Toy, that the bias mitzri is a bia. So we see that, so according to the Ribam, saying not like Rabbeinu Tam, he says all these kashas on Rabbeinu Tam. V'ki Africa, so Rabbeinu Tam has his posuk. V'ki Africa Rachmana Lezera, but according to the Ribam, the posuk still holds that he mafkered the zera. Hanimili linian de ein lo chius, that there's no yichus of the goy. The zera chashuv kezera bahema. So, if a goy has relations with a woman, and then the woman gives pregnancy, so therefore the yichus doesn't go after the goy. And just like with the yichus of a behem, she has relations with it, so that the yichus of the goy is like a yichus of the behem. Obviously, if it's bestiality, it's unlikely that there'll be a baby out of it, but that the baby won't have the yichus of the goy, and therefore it won't be the level of a Kohen or a Yisrael or whatever it is that'll come out, that you lose the yichus of the Jew through the bia of the goy. Now, I'm not saying it's not Jewish, but the level, again, the Mishnah is in Kedushin that lists the levels of yichus, so that there's no yichus there. Now, all three questions on Rabbeinu Tam are actually the same question, which is that we see in the Gemara that if a woman has relations berotzen with a goy, then she's also to her husband. Now, if we look closely or clearly at what Rabbeinu Tam said, he never said that if a woman who's married has relations outside of the marriage, that she's mutter to her husband. That's not what Rabbeinu Tam said at all. All he was saying was in a case of oinus, you don't have to kill yourself for it because the zera, because the bia is like a bia behema. But there's a whole different inyan of that a woman. What's the story of a woman? Now the woman that became a goy, became a Christian, and then the guy converted to Judaism. She wasn't married in that case, and therefore the bia that she had with this goy wasn't going to usher her to her husband because she wasn't married. That's why Rabbeinu Tam says that he can marry her. And there's a whole other inyan, and that really, so they say in the Dasar of Rabbeinu Tam that really Rabbeinu Tam holds. Really, it's poshut. You say that because of these kashas on Rabbeinu Tam. That really he holds that if she has relations outside of her marriage, that she's also to the boil. She is also to the boil, and therefore all the proofs of the ribam, it's also the boil because he Rabbeinu Tam is moida in this point. That why is what's this woman doing to the husband if she has relations outside of the marriage? Is that she is being ma'al in the baal, that she is creating this, she's doing this act of ma'ila, she's doing this act of betrayal to her husband, even if his the only, I guess, the problem with bestiality, even if she has relations with a beast, that she's not also, it wasn't a treachery done to her husband, because the beast isn't human. Once she does with a human, even though he's a goy, that's an act against the husband. Forget about the psukim in that case, but her act against the husband is still that act of betrayal when she has relations with a goy. So even though that the act is like it's with a behema, there's still a betrayal of the husband, and since they have the betrayal there, so Rabbeinu Tam will be moida that she's also to her husband that she has betrayed. So in that case, so it's not necessarily legamri in Shitas Rabbeinu Tam that it's not the same as having relations with a dog. It's that there's a level of it's that there's a hefker of the zera, but still the act itself, even if there's no zera, if you have that the act, again, he's saying that the zera is mafkir, but if you have an act without zera, so also to the husband. So the issue to the husband isn't what Rabbeinu Tam is focusing on. He's saying that the zera of a goy is like a sus. So then the act, the physical act is more like with the behema, and therefore you don't have to. It's not called gili rayas, but there's still the act of betrayal of the husband. Now, according to the Ribam, then what teretz is he going to have for the problem in the Gemara? We still have the same question. Just the woman should be yarek v'al yavar. She's no heter to be doing this oines with this guy, because you can be doing the oines, and except for three, it's just die rather than have the act. So what are they doing having the act? So he answers up. Tell them the ornishari lefi sheisha hi karka oilam. Now here's the svara of Tosfos here that since the woman is karka oilam, therefore she's allowed to do it. Velo avde maise, and she's not doing an action. Now, how is this it's a sheva al tasa. You can do whatever you want. You can be over these things with sheva al tasa. The fact that she's just lying down, so therefore, she's the sheva al tasa. So therefore, she can now. It says by a man that the kishui is the act, so that the man becoming erect is an act, and the Gemara says ein kishui ela b'das, that the only way that a man can achieve this is with das, and therefore there's no real oiness there. So by a woman, she doesn't have this level of act involved in the idea. So therefore, since she's passive, therefore she has no din of Yarek v'al Yavor. Well, that's part of the question. But here, Tosis says v'lo avda ma'isa, that she's not doing an action. So the Pasha Pashad is that I get the seed and I plant it in the land, and then it produces from the land, but the land just sits there and it doesn't do the ma'isa. So to the woman, it's the man who's doing the act of planting the seed, and the woman is just the kli and just stays there. So lo avda ma'isa. So seemingly, as long as you don't do a ma'isa, so then you're able to. So since you don't do a ma'isa, so therefore it's all mutter. So Kedushan v'Perak ben Sorry Moira, as we say over there, Esther karka oilam ma'isa. So that Esther was karka oilam. So again, the Pasha Peshat of Taisus is that since it's karka oilam, then she's not doing an act, and therefore since you're passive, so then you don't need to. So therefore you don't have to do anything. So according to the according to the second teretz, if you're active, it's aser. According to Rabbeinu Tam, if you're active, it's mater. And again, there's a big nafkamina here that if you have a yarek ve'al yavor, so the pasha case is that somebody says to you, kill B or I'll kill you. So you don't kill B. But if I take you and I throw you on a baby, and I say, if you get up, I'll kill you. So according to this teretz of that, if you're passive, then you can do. Then seemingly you can just lie in the baby, and you don't have a yarek ve'al yavor, because you're allowed in a non-passive, in a non-active way. You're allowed to be over these things. You're allowed to kill in a non-active way. So someone throws you on a baby and says, "I'll kill you if you get up." You can stay there. But if there's a different understanding of this karka oilam, so then you would understand. Then maybe you'll understand that shayla I just gave you in a different way. So the low parak, this is one of the rayas of Rabbeinu Tam. Had the low parachatam gili arayas have. So why did the Gemara not ask? Why is the Gemara jumping straight into karka oilam? That she was b'ferhesi. The Gemara says b'ferhesi and answers karka oilam. So why did they not just jump straight into gili arayas? Because it was obvious that the Gemara was going to say karka oilam ve'elo la meiser atzma, and that she's not going to give herself. Avala in chilul Hashem la hayanira lo she'il tam de karka oilam. So in the Havamina of the Gemara knew that if you're passive, you don't have to be meiser nefesh. So therefore, there's no point in even asking what about gili arayas, because the Gemara is going to answer karka oilam. But they thought that karka oilam wasn't enough of a teretz for allow you to do chilul Hashem, which was doing this act b'ferhesia. Again, the ferhesia was Pinchas was killing everybody b'ferhesia, and they say even it's brought down in the Halach. I think the Rambam says even after the act, or the Tzafnatz Paneach learns that in the Pesukim, that even after the act, you can only, if the Jew male is having a relation with a non-Jewish woman, but for Hesia, you can only kill the Jew during the act. But after the act, you can still just kill the female goyes. So there's a level of Chilul Hashem in being before Hesia that the Gemara did not think that Karka Oilam was enough to be matter that. And Mishani in the Gemara answers Karka Oilam Haisa. And if Chilul Hashem Leika. So since it wasn't an active act, so I heard this Klape Avraham when he was talking to God, and he said, well, what about if I find 10 people? What if I find 50 people? What if I find 40 people? What if I find 30 people in Sodom? He kept on changing, like, why don't you just say, what if I find 10 people? So that, like, he starts off with this idea that you'll have a tremendous level of, it'd be great chesed of Hashem to save everyone from 50. And he's finding deeper levels of chesed of Hashem and rachamim in Hashem as he goes down in smaller amounts of numbers. So it'd be like that here. The Gemara knew the Karkolim was a heter for Gili Rayas in it to kill yourself, but is Karkolim enough for even for Hesia? And then the Gemara answers yes, Karkolim is enough even for Chilul Hashem, but for Hesia. Now, let's have a look at the Ritva. The Ritva says, "Umay delo amar b'shma'tין sheteharg v'yavar." We have the same question as Tosfos. Let's just say, let's kill everybody. Why? Is because how time the parik and gabe Esther. It's the same thing that we're talking about Esther, the karka oilam hen. So the Ritva is now learning this idea of karka oilam hen, that women are naturally karka oilam. Afilu begili yorayas. Look at this lashon here. That even by gili yorayas they are karka oilam. What does that mean? That even by gili yorayas they're karka oilam. Should be that they are karka oilam by gili yorayas. But here even gili yorayas. For Hesia ein lehem lehareg. Why? Shaharei ein biyada lehareg shelo tavor. This is like, listen to what the Ritva is saying here. And it kind of gives a new idea. I wasn't really understanding Yarek V'al Yavor, and I mean, this is Pasha what it is, but I was just missing this. She doesn't have the ability to kill herself. Yarek V'al Yavor means die and don't do the Avera. So if I say to you, I'll kill you if you don't kill this person, so now if you don't kill the person, you're going to die. If I say, have relations with this woman or I'll kill you, so then, if you don't have the relation, so then I'll kill you, so therefore you'll die. So therefore, you just sit there and you passively die. You choose. You have two choices here. The Avera or death. The woman isn't facing that choice. What does it mean? Yarek V'al Yavor. The Greek guy is coming to town and they say, yeah, no, Yarek V'al Yavor. And also, I mean, it's an important idea to understand. They have these stickers around here saying that Yarog, you should die and not join the army. Nobody is threatening you with death if you don't join the army. That's not the option here. This is not in her hand. She doesn't have the ability to die so that she doesn't be over the Gilirayas. This is the diak in the Gemara that I was picking up on here. The two parts of the step number one, they're ready to die. They are ready to die. The asin, and they will come to Sakana. Why are they ready to die? Why are they only coming to Sakana? So since they're ready to die, they are going to try to stop the act happening. And then they die. It doesn't say that they give themselves over to die and then they die. It doesn't say that. Because they don't have the ability to die. How are they going to die? Oh, their only option is to kill themselves. That's ridiculous. You don't commit suicide. That's completely awesome. The point of Yarek V'al Yavor is that when your choice is between dying and doing the Avera, therefore you take you take the death option and don't do the Avera. To Hazimnin, sometimes what might happen to Afalkav, to Inhu, sometimes that they are Maser Nafshayu, they are ready to die and they will give themselves over to death. Lekatale lo boy lekatalinu. Yeah, the goy doesn't want to kill her. What does he want to do? Eila de anisa lohu le beila. All he wants to do is have relations with her against her will. That's what he wants to do. So the way that the Ritva is learning Karka Oilam is that the woman is not in control. That it is possible for a man against the will of a woman to have relations with her. Even if she's ready to die for it, there is no way that she can stop the guy doing it in certain situations. And if the guy doesn't want to kill her and he wants to do the act, so therefore, since she's karka oilam, she can't stop her. We can't tell her to kill herself, because if you tell her to kill herself, since she's karka oilam, then the goy can still force himself on her without killing her. So how can you tell her to kill herself? She can't do that. So since her options are not, the goy isn't coming and saying, have relations with me or I'll kill you. That was never the option. The guy's just saying, I'm going to have relations with you when there's nothing that you can do about it because I'm more powerful than you. I will physically overpower you. Once I physically overpower you, so therefore there's no option of death. And even if she's willing to die rather than rather being overpowered. So the fact that he has the ability to overpower without killing her, therefore there's not shaykh. It's not shaykh at all to say Yavor because she is karka oilam. Since there is no act on her part, therefore if somebody wants to overpower her and perform acts on her, there's nothing to do with her. So therefore she's karka olam. She can't actually give herself over to die because Yarek Yavor is only in a case of where you have two options, death or do the avera. So here, since she is karka oilam, that even though she's ready to die, she may not die. And by a man, he has an act to do, so therefore he should die before doing that act. No one can force him to do the act. That is what the Gemara is saying over there when it says Ein kishu ela b'das. No one can force you to have kishu. No one can force you to become erect. But therefore, when you're doing it, that is your act. So therefore, if you are ready to die rather than come to kishoy, so therefore that is in your hands. You're able to do that. But by the woman being karka oilam, she's not able to control the acts, and therefore we can't tell her to die. So again, all these things you see, Yarek V'Yavor, and all these things, it's not shaykh because it's only when the option is death or the avera, that's when you choose death. But if the option isn't going to beat you up until you do, so you get beaten, but then if they still do the act on you anyway, so therefore just don't physically do the act. Since the woman's karka oilam, therefore she's not physically doing the act has been done to her, therefore we can't ask them to die because they can try to die as much as they want, short of suicide, again, which would be aser, so therefore we can't tell them to Yarek V'Yavor. So ubeperek mitzvahs chalitza. So we ask over there by Yael, that she got hano from the avera. So then we say, but the taiv of the Rishayim is bad by the tzaddikim. So she didn't really get hano because the Sisra enjoyed himself, so it was good for him, and therefore it was bad for her. So even though that she had the act and got pleasure through the act, it was actually not so nice for her because the tzaddik it was good for the tzaddik, it was good for the Rasha, so therefore that means it's bad for the tzaddik. So shehatul ba zahuma, so that it's a ra by the tzaddikim because he put his zera into her, and we didn't answer karka oilam hayasa. So why didn't we answer over there that she got pleasure from the avera? Why didn't we just say but she's karka oilam, nothing to do with her? Mishom dahasam lo perach amai lo masra atzma. We didn't ask over there why did she not give herself over to death. Daha lo have raitza la hamita, because he never wanted to kill her. We know for sure he didn't want to kill her. So now here, seemingly in the Tosfos, he's learning that the goy is looking to kill this woman, which I would say B'Pashtus isn't necessarily true, and it's not clear from the Sugya Toli. He wants to kill her. He just wants to have his way. And again, Pashtus is like the Ritva, because here Toli's making a chiluk. Here, Davka by Sistra, he didn't want to kill her. The Adarabba Hayatzarech Tishmurhu. He wanted her to watch over him. He wanted to hide in her tent, and she goes outside and says, no, didn't see anybody here. There's no one around. So therefore, killing her is not really in his interests. So therefore, Tosis is making a chiluk by Yael, so that it's mashma from the Tosis that really that the goy here does want to kill her, which I don't know. El hachi perush, this is the perush of the whole case of Yael. Vaha metania me avera, that she is getting pleasure from the avera. Since she got pleasure from the avera, why is she getting mishpacha kosev minashim that's giving her praise? Why is the posik praising her? From the nashim ba'oihel tisberech, that she is like the women in the tent, that she gets blessings of a darshan ben nazir. So in nazir gedol avera lishma mimisah shelo lishma, so that she is doing an avera lishma, so she gets praise is greater than a mitzvah shelo lishma. But we say on Yael it was an avera shelo lishma, that she, so it wasn't an avera lishma, it was an avera shelo lishma. Why? Because she got hano from the avera, so therefore shelo lishma. So, and we answer over there, Delo Mahanya, that she didn't get pleasure. Therefore, it was a very lishma. How did she not get pleasure? Because he gave her his zera in her, and what's good for the Rishayim is bad for the tzaddikim, and therefore she didn't get pleasure. So the end of Atosis is answering is answering a different, like a side point of why we can't say karka oilam. But that's the Atosis. So the next Tosis, Basula, next is Beravi Tiba El Lav Davka Beravi. It's not that the specifically that the Basula that gets married on Wednesdays has relations, but it's every Basula that gets married will have relations. How do we know this? Midaparach Lakamam B'Shlishi Namiati Ubal. So we say also, this is later on in the Gemara, we say that if we move it to Tuesday, so then the Hegmon will come anyway on Tuesday. That since he is, we're going to have a Shabbat Chiluk between where they made a decree only on Wednesday, and then we can just change it off, and the Goyim don't care anymore. And then where that's to kill people that get married on Wednesday. So there, once you change that, you don't have to, the Goyim don't care anymore. But if you change it where that the Goy comes to have relations on Wednesday, that's for his own relations, not to kill people, since it's for his own pleasure. So therefore, he'll come on Tuesday as well, because it's for his own pleasure. So therefore, since it's on Tuesday as well, so it's any basula that gets married that the hegman will come. You see the kapeda of the goyim is on the kaviyas yom, because they want to remove the Jews from the das of they want to remove the Jews from the das of the Chachamim. So by moving the Jews from the das of the Chachamim, once the Chachamim say get married on Wednesday, and the Goyim say we'll kill you if you get married on Wednesday, the Goyim don't care what day of the week they get married on, because they get married on any other day of the week. So therefore, they are like mevatling the Chachma and the Torah of the Jews, and that's the goal of the Goyim, just to remove the Jews from the das of the Chachamim. But when we said no, because there. And it says there that we should be oikere legamri, and it's why is it not go? We say no, it's a sakana because of the bia of the hegman. Now, once we say it's the bia of the hegman, so therefore that's for his hana. Since it's for his hana, so therefore any day he'll come for his hana. So therefore, but since it's for the case of death, it's on the revi. So therefore, al datam nekad le hacha biyam revi. So we have since the case of death is on revi, so too for the sakana we'll say yom revi. But it's lav davka that the girl who's boil on revi has to have relations with the hegman as anyone, because he comes on other days as well. So now it is tells us, if we go up to this idea that so now we kind of have this idea that for the Ketala, what's going on here is that the Basula that get married on Wednesday should be killed. Why are the Goyim doing this? Just so you will change from the das of the Chacham. The Chacham say to do something, then the Goyim say don't do what the Chacham are telling you. So then the Gemara says, Legamri ne'akre. All we should do is just rip up this whole idea of just get rid of the what the Chachamim wanted. That since the Goyim are saying don't do like the Chachamim say, so therefore the Gemara is saying that we should therefore remove what the Goyim are saying. Now in the Shulchan Aruch, this is your Daya Kuf Nun Zayin. When they have a gezerah, a filu after the Masanya Yarag ve'al Yavar. So when they have a gezerah, even to change your shoelaces, you have a din of Yarag ve'al Yavar. So why then? By our case, our Gemara is saying let's just get rid of the whole din. Why is there not Yarag ve'al Yavar on the death? Keep it on a Wednesday in Yarag ve'al Yavar. That's an obvious question in the Gemara. Why are we uprooting the even with shoelaces? People died seemingly for not changing his shoelaces, because that was the way the goyim, it was the chachamim, whatever it was. It's like if you tell a chasidi to take off his bekesh or his shrine, well, it's yarg v'al yavar. Changing like the way the goyim, they hear the Ramah, v'davke im roitzim la'avir b'mitzvahs lo taseh. That's over when they want to remove them from mitzvahs lo taseh. V'alim gozru gezerah shelo l'kayim mitzvahs aseh ein tzarich l'kayim she'yikarek. So that you don't have to die if it's to remove you from mitzvahs aseh. But mitzvahs lo taseh. So they're yag v'al yavar. Now, so we have on this we have the Rabbi Kiva. So shelo l'kayim mitzvahs aseh. So here we have the famous Rabbi Kiva. Say the Hagos Ashri. Go see the Pnei Yeshua and go see the Bach. So what's the story here that is going on? So the Hagos Ashri, this is the Rosh. It's the Piskei HaRosh at the back of the Gemara. Sometimes the Gemara has the Kitzur Piskei Rosh, but the Hagos Ashri is the Rosh. So if they're going to die, what does it mean that they're noiheg? They're noiheg to get married on Tuesday. We should uproot the gezerah completely. So Kevin Sheikre based in. So since the based in have uprooted it, lekel aser. So therefore you can't aser misham eis zara. So that you don't have to what? So the way the Aşri is saying that since there's the din of Yarg V'al Yavar even on shoelaces, so therefore let's uproot the din, and then there won't be an Isser because of Eitzara, because even the mitzvah Kala Yarg V'al Yavar Levor Al Das, because even if it's a light mitzvah, here we're talking about Gili Arayas, which is a heavy mitzvah, so something like shoelaces you should die for, so therefore for sure you're going to die for this Gezer for Gili Arayas, so therefore we're going to uproot the Takana of Wednesday, and therefore, since we get uprooted the Takana of Wednesday, you can get married whenever you want, and therefore, when you change your wedding day from Wednesday to Tuesday, you're not being oiker, you're not being over this, and you that you should die in order to mekayim the words of the Chachamim. So if even to change your shoelaces is aser, so therefore we're going to uproot. So this is the pshat in the Gemara according to the Hagos Aşri. The Gamri Nekere, so you won't have to be Yarg V'al Yavar by moving the day from Wednesday to Tuesday. So if we uproot it, so therefore you can get married, because really the din is that the Chacham said get married on Wednesday. The Mishnah said get married on Wednesday. The Goyim said if you get married on Wednesday we'll kill you. The din is right, you should die. We're going to get married on Wednesday. If you want to kill us, so come kill us. You can't even change your shoelaces. So Mikan Yeshraya. So from this day, there's a proof that my teacher says that in the in Beitza, that even though you have a based in, so one based in can't mevatel the words of another based in, but it can be that if they im yasu ba'oisus svara, if the svara, so based in A made a takana, if it's the same svara, that if that based in A was still around, that he would agree to that same heter that shenishtana ha'inyan, that because the Inyan has changed, so that they would agree. So since that the idea for getting married on Wednesday was not that everyone should die, and the based in that said you should get married on Wednesday, again that's all for her benefit. It's for her benefit that they have the shoktu. So therefore it's for her benefit, but if she's going to die for it, it's not for her benefit. So therefore the based in A that made the whole to come in the first place, they would agree. So that's not called bittul divarav, because I'm going, so based in A says something, based in B comes later and says no, based in A would agree to this, because it's clear when based in A made their takana that this would be included. So the Hagos Aşri is saying that we're able to mevatel the whole din of getting married on Wednesday, and because we do that, so therefore you don't have to die, and you don't have to get married on Wednesday and die. And then Yeshua doesn't like this. So again, this is step 2 of the Rebbe Kiva, where the Pnei Yeshua, you can do the whole Pnei Yeshua, this is the Iker. The Gam Loshin Hagos Aşri, Yesh Lila Dagdek. What the hell are you talking about? The Im Kain, Bekol Akshri Daksana, Nami Yesu Chacham Takana, Lishanos Hadgar de Masna. So Pnei Yeshua is saying that, how can you tell me that the Pshat in the Gemara is that you are oikering the mitzvah in order that you don't have to die. Anytime that you have a din where the goyim are trying to kill people for keeping Torah, so then we'll just be oikeris. Every case of shoelaces, also the chachamim will make a takana and just change the din. So if you'll never have a case of shoelaces, what the hell are people dying for shoelaces for? Chachamim should come in the case of shoelaces and just uproot it and say there's no din of shoelaces. So yeah, versus a das b'davar, because every time that there's a das that will be over, so the chacham will come and uproot it. That this can't be pshat in the Gemara because you're going to look like versus das anyway. So that you can't just uproot it. Don't be silly. So the Pnei Yeshua is arguing on the yisoid of the Hagas Ashrei. Yes, so the Hagas Ashrei is saying that we just going to uproot it in order that we don't have to die like shoelaces. So then Pnei Yeshua says, well, if that's the case, and shoelaces also uprooted, and we never have the whole case in the first place. So comes the Bach, and the Bach is talking about the case in again these are famous halachas that in the case of Chanukah, light the menorah. So it's a shas hashmad, b'shas hasakana, perush shas hasakana goes through shmad shelo lekam hamitzvahs. So since we have a time where you're not supposed to makayim the mitzvahs, so then you don't put the Chanukah outside because you're not allowed to do the mitzvahs. So you put it on the table inside. The Yimkain Hayekasha lam yisruchu rizal hanicha al shulchano v'nechasol b'safek sakana. So says the Bach, this is super bizarre. What's the din? The din is that if you put your Chanukiah outside on the street, al pi din, then the goyim are going to look for you and might kill you. If they find you, dead man. So what does Chazal say? Put it on the table. So says the Bach, why the hell are you putting it on the table? That's something. If a goy then comes inside and sees your Chanukiah, that's Sekanas Nefashis. What the hell are Chazal doing? If it's Sekanas Nefashis for putting your Chanukiah outside, mevatel the din, let's get rid of it. Imkain. Yeah, the halo af men ashochan hayu noitlin mafkin could easily prepare comment to get them. Even see there that some people took it from the table. Kamoshikazav toisus aval kasha nifras bed gezer shmad kamar. When you're talking about the gezer shmad nicha, this is all good because even the artkat the masa even is also less shanos b'shas shmad. But since we're talking about the tam shmad, therefore even the shoelaces you can't change. Since you can't change even the shoelaces b'shas shmad, so therefore good. Put it on the table and die for doing the mitzvah. So therefore, they didn't completely uproot it. So until this line here is like, what the hell's going on? If we're going to die, so therefore, let's keep on lighting outside. And if we're not going to die, so then just keep it off completely. How can you say, no, you should die, you should put it on your table and get ready to die for it? But then put it on the outside. What's going on? He says, therefore, this is good because we lo hayu oiker in the mitzvahs ad lakal gamri. We didn't completely uproot it. Aval ma shahayu mishanin lahaniach ala shulchan ein a mitzvah nakeres b'zeh. So we haven't uprooted the mitzvah. We've changed some pratim in the mitzvah. The ikar mitzvah is there. We've changed some pratim in the mitzvah. So therefore, the mitzvah is to light the Chanukiah. So therefore, sticking it outside is a big sekanas nefashis. So therefore, we'll put it inside to have a small sekanas nefashis. Even though it's sekanas nefashis, you should have a sekanas nefashis rather than be oiker a sekanas derabanan legamri. De'ein zeh shini b'gufa mitzvah rak shinu hamakom. That the gufa mitzvah is the same. You put oil in the Chanukiah and you light this one on the third night and that one from that direction. The gufa mitzvah is actually the same. It's just where are you doing it? Bilvadu b'ki hagav neshari. In this matter, it's mutter to change the gezerah. Afilu b'shas hashmat. So you can change. So again, our Gemara is a shas hashmat. So we're changing. Kedemucha pareish kasovas. But takanas nasoyin liyom revi defilu b'shas hashmat mashina takana miyom zeh liyom acher. Kevin she'enois in shini b'gofa takana v'hachinami le'ini mitzvahs hadlakas haner. So says the Bach, we have to keep the iker of the mitzvah. Since we keep the iker of the mitzvah, we're only changing a pras in the mitzvah, and therefore we're good. Now, who is this like? Is this like Rashi, or this is like Tosfos? Who is the Bach going like? So we said in the first Tosfos here, b'sheni loikin is perish contrast afilu b'shas sakana de ein loiker b'shvila tekanas chachamim ele yom echad. Ele yom echad. You're only tekanas chachamim ele yom echad. What the hell is Tosfos? Why is Rashi saying you're only doing it one day? So this is the shitas of the Bach. Mashin in takana miyom ze liyom acher. That you have to keep, you change the takana. As long as you're keeping part of the takana, and you're only changing a small amount of the takana. We're not oikering the takana completely. We're not getting rid of the takana. We're changing the takana from this day to that day. So we move it one day. We're not going to move it 2 days. Because if we're moving the 2 days, we go back to the kasha of the Panei Yeshua. So the Bach is answering up for the Chagos Ashrei. Chagos Ashrei saying we're going to keep it like Rashi. We're going to move it 1 day. Since we're going to move it 1 day, therefore you don't have to die on Wednesday. We're keeping the takana by just moving it from Wednesday to Tuesdays. The Panei Yeshua is going like Tosfos, and he's saying once you're uprooting it, baby, and therefore let's uproot everything. But the Bach is saying that's not what we're talking about. The Shas Shmad, you uproot it a little, you keep as much of the guf of the mitzvah as possible, just change the mokum, and therefore Rashi is going on about this and saying that you are tekanas chachamim ele yamecha, you're only changing it 1 day, because once you're hefker on all the days, so therefore you're oiker the tekanas chachamim, you can't do that. You can't just oiker tekanas chachamim, you're ready to die, rather than oiker the tekanas chachamim. Therefore, we just move it 1 day. That's mutter like the Bach, just like the Chanukiah candles. But Tosfos, like the Bnei Yeshua, it doesn't like that pshat.